Hi, my name's Charlene Jordan. I'm a lecturer for TAFE and I've been doing this job for 15 years. My main job is teaching people who work with animals how to work with those animals safely and humanely. And today we're here to show you a few different dogs, some of their behaviours, and hopefully give you some tips and techniques to be able to do your job again a lot more safely and to treat the dogs with more respect and be seen to be a humane operator. So here we go. This dog shows the classic body language indicators of what we would probably term a defensive aggressive dog, or has certainly the potential to become a defensive aggressive dog if not handled appropriately. You can tell that his body language is down and low, and he's standoffish, moves away from anything that's too much for him. This next dog has no aggression at all. You can see that this guy by comparison stays up the front. Although he's a little bit apprehensive, you can tell pretty much he's quite a happy dog and shouldn't be any problems to deal with as long as you are soft with him. This dog here, you can see, has no aggression issues at all, and it'd take a fair bit to push his buttons. You can see that his tail's up, his submissive body language, bouncing around, no problems at all with the face. Playful, again, play bow behaviour for a dog. This is even further than your happy, friendly dog. This guy's actually asking to get out and have a play. The play bow is a classic dog's body language for interaction, and it's the dog's polite way of saying, let's get out and have some fun together. All right, now here's the one that you really need to be worried about, because these are the ones that are attributed to most of our bites and aggressions. You can see he's classic. Tail down between the legs, body language down, running away from you, and you can pretty much see the whites of his eyes. He's very apprehensive. With this dog, if I was handling him, I would try to win him over and win his confidence. Lots of food, lots of niceness, and he will come around. Approaching him and dominating him will just push his buttons, and probably he will go. Dominant aggressive, this dog obviously has been allowed to control everything throughout his life. And the classic body language for these guys, up on their toes, locking eyes, and they only show a little bit of teeth. And I think when we're actually with the dog, you could hear him growling as well. So this guy is saying, look, you know, come in, I'm in control of this area, and let's have a bit of a conversation. Whereas the fear aggressive dog will show you all his teeth. The dominant aggressive dog says, when you come in, I'll show you all my teeth. The ears are calm, the tail's middle, wagging. It's quite obvious that he's never going to be a problem. There's no fear aggression, there's no dominance aggression. Now, when you get fear aggressive dogs, the body language that we've seen in there, for a dog that's fearful, the body language is back, the tail is down, and they're actually with a slightly backward stance. Some of them will actually cower and lower right down, and you've seen dogs all the way through to pretty much lying down, tail between their legs, and some of them even get to the point where they wear themselves. When you get your dominant, territorial aggressive dogs, they're the opposite. They're up on their toes, up, forward, locking eyes, everything's forward and up. Now, the tail with those guys, there's one over here, look. The tail with those guys is always either on the horizontal or above. So a dominant, happy, cocky dog, the tail will be up. You'll see with a fear aggressive dog, the mouth will be open and you'll see all the teeth. No, not going to work. All the teeth flat out. There you go. Like that. Full dentition you'll see on a fear aggressive dog. What the fear aggressive dog is saying, I'm scared, I'm not happy with whatever it is, you, the environment, and this is all my weaponry. This is what I can take you apart with. This is what I've got to defend myself with. It's up to you whether you actually want to take up that option or not. With a dominant aggressive dog, it's quite different. He has his mouth pretty well closed, and one of the first couple that we filmed was doing that. They have their mouth closed, and all they have is just that front bit. We're going to have to get another demo dog, I think. Just that front bit showing. Just here, no, you're not going to listen.
I think it's good stuff what you're saying. Probably if you get Dog that actually sat still for long enough. We'll go and get that Roddy looking fella and see how he goes. Come on. This dog's apprehensive. He's fearful, he's away from me, doesn't want to interact, tail's between his legs. And interesting, when I went up to the cage, he was the territorial, exhibiting, you know, standing up in your face. The minute I walked through that cage, the tail went straight between the legs and the dog ran away from me. So interesting, we'll give him a couple of minutes to settle. Another thing that you ought not do, I mean I do for demo, and I know when to watch and not to get bitten, but best not to stand up and lean over a dog as well. Dogs have personal space. You can see when I'm working with something that's a bit fractious, I always work side on the side. If you start coming up over the top, that's immediately trying to dominate a dog, and you'll get various types of reactions. Most of those reactions you won't like. Get out of my personal space, get out of my face. But we'll see how we go with this one, okay? All right, so, dominant aggression. All you will see is that, just the teeth. Most of the mouth will be closed, just the front bit will be up. Now the reason that they're doing that is they're saying, I own this place, I'm confident, this is my territory. This is a little bit of an example of what I have to defend myself. They don't need to show you all of their teeth because they're already in control and confident. So they're just going to show you the little bit. So you get the lip corners forward, the mouth lip corners will actually be forward, which if we go back and edit that bit from that first dog, he was perfect. He had the lip corners forward and he had just a very, very small part of this mouth showing. And he was, yeah, seriously dominant, territorial. Whereas if they're a fear-aggressive dog, fearful, they will have, you'll see a wrinkled nose and you will see the lips pulled back and you will see as much weaponry as that dog can possibly display. So you need to recognise those body languages. When you've got a fear-aggressive dog, tail down, lots of teeth showing at you, backward stance a bit, even some of them will be shaking. You can tell by the look in their eyes that they're not really happy, their ears are back in that worried expression on their face. Those dogs, go easy with. Take the time to give them some food, make friends with them, pat on the shoulder, pat on the chest. Don't go patting these dogs on the head. Again, they don't like it. But this one seems to have come around quite nicely and let me play with his little face and everything, so yeah. With a dominant aggressive dog, I would take charge a bit more. I would not be quite so passive because a dominant aggressive dog wants to dominate you, wants to control you. We'll have a look at a couple of them in there. They're not particularly compliant either. They are going where they want, they're pushing the lead, pulling the lead, that sort of thing. So with those guys, you'd be more authoritative. You would stand up and over them and you'd be saying things like, you know, sit, behave, drop. You wouldn't be showing any fear and you certainly wouldn't be too worried about dominating that type of dog, because if you go passive with a dominant aggressive dog, then he's likely to think, I have a weakling here, so I'll have a go at you. So with a dominant aggressive dog, basically we call his bluff, because most people don't, and that's how he wins. Trying to do is get her to move in front of me. I don't want to drag her, I want to push her so she walks on her own. Okay. Pure fear behaviour. Still absolutely petrified, trying to hide, trying to get away. And like I said, I'm assuming you got it on film, she had 2 or 3 bites at the pole. So if you went in there to get this dog, she would bite you. Just because she just doesn't want to be touched. She's so petrified, so scared, out of her environment, out of her comfort zone. So yeah, definitely, if you have to handle a dog like this, I'd either be taking a good half an hour to win its trust, if you have the luxury of that time, else make sure you wear protective equipment, because it's the fear-aggressive dog that'll be your problem dog. If a fear-aggressive dog does come at you, how do you deal with that? Is take the pressure off. Back off leave the dog alone, and you'll find there'll be a point at which the dog will actually sit down and relax. Dominant territorial dogs, different story, because they're the ones that actually will come at you and attack you. But the fearful ones, when they attack you, it's only a purely self-defense mechanism. So back off, take the pressure off. With this dog, if you had to spray it, it'd be just spray it, go. Just leave it. So the dominant dog, so the one that we looked at that's just showing you the few front bits of teeth, one that's up on his toes, tail up, forward, looking you in the eye. If he comes at you, then be assertive, get something to put in his mouth because he wants to bite something. Hopefully he'll bite a stick or a shoe or whatever you find lying around. Give him that to bite. Give him your squirt with Ivomec. Back off as he's biting, backing off, backing off. You'll get to a point, you'll either get back to your vehicle and you'll be safe, or you'll get to a point where he sees that you're no longer a threat, you're out of his territory, and he'll just either cock his leg on you or just turn around and walk off and not be bothered. Maintain eye contact. Because he's dominant, he's calling your bluff, call his bluff back. Hey, sit down, do this, do that, make him behave. 99.9% of the time they will. They'll go, oh my goodness, I didn't expect anybody to go telling me what to do. I'm used to pushing everybody else around here. All of a sudden he has a think and he sits down and plays the game and does what he's supposed to. More often than not. And they won't bite you, those guys. If you play the game. Running? No, not a good option. Some dogs may not chase, some dogs may. Is today the day that the dog's going to chase you? Is there a given situation in which a dog's going to chase you? Anybody's guess. So probably chances of the dog chasing you, launching itself through the air and attacking you and bringing you down are probably pretty good if you turn tail and run. So running, not a good option. Deal with the dog. Backing out, always, I mean, running, you're not looking at the dog either. You're not seeing what he's doing, what's happening. And he might have stopped over here and everybody's watching you still running as well. But running will also trigger the predatorial behaviour in a dog as well, because dogs like to run, chase, pull down, kill. You come across dogs and you're not sure, you can't read the body language, you're not really sure which way they're going to react, because some of them might look dominant, then when you go a little bit further they suddenly become a bit scared because you're on their place. So you need to get their confidence, make friends with them. You're not there to control them, to train them, anything like that. All you want to do is do your job nicely and safely. So make friends with the dogs. The best way to tame dogs, and we tame wild dogs all over the world, is just sitting down, being passive, having a nice, calm, soothing tone of voice, and throwing bits of food at them. If you're not sure about a dog, just spend some time with it, and you can usually bring, more often than not, you will bring them around that way. What to use? You can use anything that smells really good to a dog. You can get these treats, these sorts of things, liver treats, make sure it's a bit smelly, from Woolworths or something. But I find one of the best things is the great big $2 polony knobs from Woolworths. Chop them up into really small pieces, have a little bag, couple of pieces of those to the dog through the fence, or when it's just standing in front of you, sit down. Try and get the dog to come to you. Don't go onto his territory on his terms. Get him to come to you on your terms. And a nice little bit of polony knob, or a bit of your sandwich, or whatever you've got, a little bit of treat. Get that dog to come to you, win its trust, and you'll find he'll be a lot easier to deal with.